Well, hello Vancouver viewers, Jordan Wade here from Novus TV. This year marks 10 years that I've been working with Novus TV as a host and producer. In that time, over 260 segments. Got a chance to meet all sorts of interesting people, from David Suzuki to Chris Hadfield to Dana White to Lewis Howes, all three Vancouver mayors. For this episode, we're going to look back on my top 10 favorite segments over the past 10 years. Kicking it off, back in November of 2014, one of the first segments I did for Novus, and the first one I did with David Young. He's been the guy behind the camera for probably 200 of those segments. We got a chance to go to the H.R. MacMillan Space Center and interview legendary Canadian broadcaster Bob Mcdonald for the launch of his new book, Canadian Spacewalkers. And here we are at the Vancouver Planetarium, the culmination of a year of hard work and maybe a lifelong love of space. How do you feel about being here tonight for the big book launch?
Well, this is really fun because the Vancouver Planetarium are just being fabulous. They have this wonderful digital projection system up here that can take you anywhere in the universe. They can put us over Quebec with that view, and then we're going to leave and go right out to the edge of the universe and back. So, it's really neat. This is the first time I've been able to do that in one of my talks.
Back in 2015, Novus TV had a partnership with the blog Van City Buzz, and David and I were hitting the streets seemingly twice a week to do all sorts of different streeter segments and public opinion polls. One of the more contentious subjects we were talking about was immigration, when Trudeau announced 25,000 Syrian refugees would be coming to Canada literally a week after this huge terrorist attack killed hundreds of people in Paris. We took to the streets, and I was amazed at the diverse range of perspectives and the compassion that Vancouverites had to share.
If you lump an entire group of people into one very small select group that cause terror or inflict fear, you're promoting forms of hate and racism.
When you bring it to here, include something IS, these kind of people have the problem, you know? Yeah? We don't know each other. Yeah?
At the basis of it is that we're all one, and we need to try and communicate that way in a way that's not mystical or not theological in any way. It's just a reality.
In 2016, Donald Trump shocked the world by running for and actually winning the presidency. The day after, we took to the streets and let Vancouverites share their impassioned thoughts.
Trump is disgusting. We all thought it was a joke. He's an idiot behind a big chair. What else can I say?
The rednecks win again. I don't know what other phrase to use other than redneck. It's just like, I'll say one thing one day and the opposite the next day, and then just keep on befuddling everybody. So it just seems like history's repeating itself.
How did we get it all so wrong?
I don't know. I'm just thankful I don't live in the United States of America. We live in good old Canada and beautiful Vancouver.
In 2017, we were impressed when dozens upon dozens of Novus volunteers came out to help build a brand new home for some refugees as part of a video segment for Habitat for Humanity.
Gamachu and Gerry moved into their house today. What are your thoughts on seeing them reach this amazing milestone in their lives?
So as you're asking me what I feel about them moving in, of course the hair on my arms is going up. It makes me extremely, deeply proud of the fact that we're able to provide this new foundation for their family. The children are very young. They may not immediately identify with how amazing this gift is, but the parents certainly do, and they know that they are going to cherish it and move forward. And for me, that is the ultimate gift, knowing that the family is deeply grateful for the work of everybody involved.
It was truly an amazing day, so rewarding to be working with so many volunteers, getting our hands dirty for a good cause. And maybe the most rewarding part was we got to hand the keys to the owner a year later to see the smiles on his face and just the amount of gratitude he had for the whole experience and Habitat for Humanity. 2018 was a very exciting time for the cannabis industry because Canada made the move to legalize in October of that year. David and I worked on a 6-part series in the weeks leading up to legalization, looking at the various policies and how various communities would be affected in the Vancouver area. The series was called Cannabis 101.
Everyone thinks that cannabis is going to become legal in September, and that's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen in September is cannabis is going to change. It's going to be harder to find for a lot of people. It's going to be more expensive for a lot of people. It's going to be lower quality for a lot of people. Those are 3 changes that I think most people who currently consume cannabis come September, October are going to be unhappy.
To my knowledge, no government has ever regulated an illegal economy of this size in one fell swoop. There's going to be some growing pains, but I think BC stands to have a huge economic benefit from this finally legalizing this substance that should have been legalized a long time ago.
2019 was a fantastic year. One of the highlight moments was for Vancouver Pride, which was celebrating their 50th anniversary. We got a chance to interview some amazing characters and really, as Pride states, feel the love.
What does Pride mean to you here in 2019?
I think more than ever, Pride is needed. LGBTQI community, it's being represented, but it's being persecuted still. And you would think after 50 years that people would have learned that we are all human, we all love one another. That's all that counts, that's all that matters.
In 2020, well, it was the pandemic. Well, we did a few segments on Zoom and some in masks, but they weren't all that memorable, so let's look at another great one from 2019, the global climate strike. The teenager from Sweden, Greta Thunberg, she rallied people all around the world to march for climate justice, and Vancouverites showed their true colors. 100,000 strong came out in September of that year to march for climate justice.
This is what we're passionate about. This, we are telling you, we're showing you what we want. This is what we care about, and this is how we're going to make our choices from here on. And we're not just activists today, we're activists today, tomorrow, every single day through the choices that we make and through the power of our dollar and the power of our vote. And we're not about to back down.
Well, I think it's fantastic, and we're seeing it all over the world. I mean, Vancouver's one example. So millions of people every Friday, led by kids, are taking action for climate and demanding change from our leaders, particularly national leaders. So it's a great advance for the movement for fighting climate change. 2021.
It's a bit of a two-parter. First, I joined in on the Covenant House Sleep Out, where I slept outside on a cold winter's night to raise awareness for homeless youth. And then a couple weeks later, I was nominated for the Tuned In Canada Award. And thanks to your votes, I won the award and the title of Canada's top community channel personality. And with that, got to donate the prize money back to a charity of my choice, which of course went to Covenant House. It was a beautiful full circle moment, and was really proud to deliver them the check a couple months later for $3,000. It really hit me there in the warm and fuzzies.
Covenant House is a place that provides supports and services for youth age 16 to 24, and we provide a crisis program, a long-term transitional housing, a drop-in space, an outreach team, and it's a space where youth can come when they're in crisis and they need help. Sleep Out is where participants will give up their bed for one night to provide many nights of comfort for the youth at Covenant House, and they are talking about what they're doing with their networks and reaching out to the networks for support so that we ensure that our doors are open 24/7 for the youth.
2022. After a couple of years of minimal events, one of the first big gatherings was on Canada Day, where it was rebranded to have a more inclusive focus to help celebrate our Indigenous citizens. This day, the event on July 1st was rebranded as Canada Together.
Reconciliation serves the idea that every human being has value and worth and purpose, and that we all should be treated with respect and dignity, regardless of race or creed or color or anything else that may separate us, and that we do everything in our power to hold each other up, lift each other up, and to celebrate each other like we're doing today.
2023. After hosting the VAF red carpet for years, this year I got a chance to host the annual short filmmaking competition as part of VAF, known as MAM. Aside from interviewing some talented filmmakers, one of the highlights was when the Novus execs weren't available to present an award. They asked me at the very last second, and suddenly I found myself on stage in front of 700 people. I was definitely underprepared, but it was definitely a memorable moment. 2024. This year was the 40th anniversary of the Sun Run, a staple Vancouver event, something I've been doing every year for the past 15 years when I was just visiting the city and had big dreams of moving to Vancouver and working in the media. So how cool was it that 15 years later I found myself not only running the race, grabbing the microphone at the finish line to interview some of the competitors, but also getting a chance to interview the race director on the stage at BC Place.
40th annual Vancouver Sun Run, beautiful blue skies, even though we're under the dome here in BC Place. What a great day, 45,571 happy Sun Runners. Still out on the course, probably 10,000 runners still going.
You know, when I first moved here for school in 2011, I thought it was going to be a temporary move. Little did I know, all these years later, I'd still be here and that Vancouver would have left such a mark on me. Incredibly grateful for the home that I found here. So thank you, Vancouver. Thank you, Novus TV. Thank you, Novus viewers, for 10 years of amazing moments, 10 years of impassioned perspectives, and 10 years of incredible, uplifting, and exciting times. Looking forward to many, many more in 2025. And for City Lights and Novus TV, I'm Jordan Wade.